We have officially got a new and major update on Ewers, and this is big time news. So yes, Texas does have 2 losses, but if Quinn Ewers was playing, there's a great chance they could be 5-0 right now. Oh man, it is about dang time we got an update on good old Quinn Ewers. Why does it seem like and feel like that Ewers was some mythological and ancient creature that wasn't even real? I kind of feel like he's similar to a Loch Ness monster. Yeah, we saw him, but it was only for a very short glimpse. This kid was getting hyped up for years and years and years. He finally plays, and then boom, just like that, he's gone. Let's get down to business though. We all know, or you should know if you haven't been living under a rock, that he got hurt in that Alabama game where he was going off. I mean, this guy was playing out of his mind, and before the game I thought he was going to play decent or well, but nothing close to that. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. In only 1 quarter of action, he was 9 for 12 with 130 yards, and one of those incompletions was a drop touchdown pass, and the other one was a play he got hurt where he had to chunk it out of bounds. So really, he only had 1 incompletion. And then sadly, on the play where he chunked the ball out of bounds, the Alabama player landed roughly on him, and yeah, he got hurt. A lot of people were trying to argue and say that was a dirty hit. I don't even think that was close to a dirty hit, and I'll stand on that to the day I die. Everybody's argument was, okay, well, he didn't target him, but he drove him into the ground. You can't do that in the NFL. All I gotta say about that is this is football, man. Quit being soft. What was the Alabama player supposed to do? Where else was he supposed to land? He already had him wrapped up. I'm not here to debate all that. It is what it is. It's in the past. You can debate that in the comment section. It's over. That's old news. We're here to talk about the new news and the major update about Quinn Ewers. We have officially got a new and major update on Ewers, and this is big time news. Because we all know, I said this at the beginning of the year, and it's held true ever since. Texas can only go as far as Ewers can take them. It's as simple as that. He's the leader on the team, and he's the most important player on the team. Keep in mind, I didn't say he was the best player on the team. That may be Bijan Robinson. I said he's the most important. Why is he the most important? Because he plays the most important position, the quarterback spot. There's a lot of important positions in football. Running back may be one of the least important ones. If some of y'all don't want to believe me on that, let me offer you some cold hard facts. Have you ever wondered why running backs aren't highly regarded in the NFL draft? It's because they're expendable. They're not that huge of a factor. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have a Saquon Barkley. It's nice to have an Adrian Peterson, but if you don't have them, you're still going to be A-okay. However, there's a major fall off in difference from having a top 5 quarterback or a mid-tier quarterback. If you have a top 5 quarterback or even a top 10 quarterback in the NFL or at the college football level, you can win a championship. On the contrary, and this is proven to be true, if you don't have that great or elite quarterback, you have a mid-tier and average quarterback, more than likely, you're not going to win a championship. I already know everybody's going to try to bring up, yo, Matt, what about Stetson Bennett? He's mediocre. Well, the defense had 5 first-rounders. That's besides the point. The point is, if you have a mid-level running back or even a great running back, not that big of a difference. But if you have a top 5 quarterback or a mid-level quarterback, you're going to see the difference. I say all of that to say this. That is exactly what we have seen with this Texas football team. When Quinn Ewers was in there, completely different ball team, not even on the same planet as the one I've seen the past 3 weeks. When Ewers isn't playing like he hasn't been the past few weeks, this looks like the same sorry Texas team I've seen the past 5 to 6 years. But when he is playing, they're competing and they're beating the Alabamas of the world. That's how important he is to this Texas ball team, and this is without a doubt in my mind the biggest injury in the college football landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the same exact thing with Bryce Young. You take Young off of Alabama, they don't even know what they're doing out there. Now granted, they did pull away from Arkansas and the score may be somewhat deceiving, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows when Bryce Young went out. And by the way, we made a Bryce Young update video. It's looking like more than likely, unless something crazy happens, he'll be back this Saturday against A&M. Here's where things start to get really, and I mean really interesting though. Do some of y'all know what Saturday is by chance? It's the Red River Rivalry. If you're from Oklahoma or Texas or around that area, I would expect you to know that, but a lot of people where I'm from in the Southeast, they forgot about this game. Why is that? Because it's also the first time in 20-something years neither of these teams are ranked. So a lot of people out there around the country don't even know this game's happening, which I think is sad because this is one of the games I look forward to the most in the season, and I'm not a fan of either of these teams. It's just one of those iconic 11 a.m. games. I love to watch it. It's always competitive. It's like Auburn and Alabama. To go along with that, reportedly Quinn Ewers is quote-unquote trending in the right direction to make his return against OU this weekend. Okay, that's what I like to see and that's what I like to hear. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even like watching Texas if Ewers isn't playing. It's something about this kid. I don't know if it's the aura about him, all the hype surrounding his name, but I want to watch him play. And even when he got hurt against my team, Alabama, I was frustrated and sad because I wanted to see how the game was going to finish if he was a quarterback. And I can tell you right now, if he would have finished that Alabama game, I'm not saying Texas would have won, but I do think it would have been a different outcome. It has also been stated, I'm going to read it off to you word for word right here. I'll highlight it on the screen. He didn't specifically say that Ewers is definitely going to be back, but he did mention things are trending in the right direction for Ewers. It definitely sounds like Ewers is the closest to returning from this clavicle sprain that he has been at any point in the last few weeks. This is also important, and they followed up by saying this. This is also good news because it signifies that we haven't heard about any setbacks regarding Ewers' recovery timeline in the last 4 weeks. And from what we've seen out of Ewers in the warm-ups in the last couple of weeks, you could see that he was getting more comfortable with his throwing motion. And last but not least, here's what they said, and I do want to read it because I think it's important as well. He was still going through his throwing motion gingerly in the pregame warm-ups a couple of weekends ago against the Texas Tech Raiders. But he looked at least a little bit more comfortable when going through his throwing motion in warm-ups last weekend ahead of the matchup against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Okay. Well, about that, Texas fans, let me know in the comment section. How do you feel about this? From everything I've seen, all the research I've done and everything just floating out there, I would say there's about a 88 to 90% chance he starts against Oklahoma. Going off of that report alone, I didn't feel confident about it, but here's what changed my mind entirely. Steve Sarkisian in an interview said, quote unquote, our quarterback room is the healthiest we've ever been at. Now here's my question to all of you watching this video. Who do you think he's referring to when he says his quarterback room? It's got to be Quinn Ewers, right? I mean, come on now. Quinn Ewers is the quarterback room. The gap between him and Hudson Card, not even on the same planet. It's the same thing with the top 3 teams in the country. Once you get outside of Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, the gap between 3 and 4, not even close. I want to read you off this comment somebody left under that post. Texas is a quarterback injury and 4 points away from being 5-0, including putting Bama on the ropes. The only sad excuse is the team OU rolled out against TCU. Nothing about this Texas team is a quote-unquote sad excuse once QB3 is back on the field. This is about to be a big debate. We all know Texas fans for the past 15 years, they say, oh, we almost beat this team. This year's our year, we're back, and blah, 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 blah. Joe Schmo. I'm not going over all that. We know how these Texas fans are, but I'm going to take their side in this one. I know this may shock some of y'all, but hear me out, hear me out. I don't think some people quite understand how important a quarterback is to a team, even though it is just one player. You're always going to hear coaches say, well, oh, one player didn't lose us a game. One player's not that important. It's a team win. But I disagree. You got a head coach on the team who is the leader, but the player's leader is the quarterback. Whenever a player goes out, like a Bryce Young or a Quinn Ewers, it doesn't just affect the offense, it affects special teams and the defense. I'm going to give you a great example. We saw it only a few days ago. Look what happened to Alabama when Bryce Young went out. For those of you that didn't watch this game, Alabama had a special teams play where it just was terrible. The snapper snapped the ball to nobody, and Arkansas got a free touchdown. Bryce Young has been playing for the past 2 years, and that has never happened on special teams. To go on top of that, when Bryce Young's in the game, the defense was playing amazing. They forced 7 straight punts, and as soon as Bryce Young goes out the game, the defense gives up 23 unanswered points. Do you really think that's a coincidence? I don't think so. Whenever the special teams, whenever the defense, whenever that entire team sees their leader go down and they don't know if he's going to come back, it's panic mode. They don't know what to do or how to act. It's not the same team, and I can't emphasize that enough. So yes, Texas does have 2 losses, but if Quinn Ewers was playing, there's a great chance they could be 5-0 right now. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to give this Texas team the benefit of the doubt because I know, I've seen it. With Ewers in there, they're a different ball team. If I was a Texas fan, I would expect him to play, and I know this may be a bold statement, but I think Steve Sarkisian almost needs this win more than Brent Venables. I think OU, which is Oklahoma, they could lose 6 games, and even if they lost 7 games this year, which I don't even think could happen, Brent Venables will not be fired. They're going to give him time. They're going to give him at least minimum 3 years. For Sarkisian, on the other hand, we know how this goes with Texas coaches. You got 2 or 3 years to prove yourself, and then you're gone. And sometimes you only got 2 years. I'm not going to label this as a must win. If he doesn't win, he's going to get fired. But I am going to label this as an extremely important game. I think he knows that. I think the staff knows that. And I think everybody around that program knows that. With that being said, if you have a quote-unquote important game, wouldn't you want your best player in it? That's why I think Ewers will play. If this was some FCS opponent or a team that wasn't so good, I wouldn't really expect Ewers to play. But since it is Oklahoma, since Texas already has 2 losses, yeah, he'll more than likely play, in my humble opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below. I do also want to mention this. I like the Hudson Card kid. I think he's not playing that bad. He's got 900 passing yards on the season, 6 touchdowns to only 1 interception, QBR of right at 77, which is nearly top 25 in the country. He hasn't played bad, and you can make an argument and say he's played really good at times. But, and I have a big but, he's not Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers looked so good in that Alabama game that even if you're average or good, it's still going to be a major fall off. And we've said that all throughout this video. From what I've seen, and we don't have a large sample size, but it's from what I've seen, Quinn Ewers is great and Hudson Card is average or good. If you want to call him good, that's fine. I think he's more of a slightly above average quarterback who can be good at times. Expect Ewers to play in this ball game. And last but not least, before we end off this video, I'm not going to rant on this, but I want your thoughts down below. Why is Arkansas not ranked? They had a game against Texas A&M where they should have won because the kicker missed a field goal. They could have easily won that game, and I thought they were the better team, and then they lose to Alabama. So you're telling me just because they lost 2 games, they're not a top 25 team? I think Arkansas right now is a top 20 team. I don't care that they have 2 losses. They lost a fluke game against A&M and against the best team in the country. Arkansas should be ranked, and here's my argument. They beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati has played nobody, yet Cincinnati is ranked in the top 25 at number 24. Y'all really think Cincinnati, Syracuse, Washington is better than Arkansas? Come on, man. I don't. I wouldn't pick them to beat Arkansas. I don't even know if I'd pick UCLA to beat Arkansas. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. But with all being said, right away,